beautiful beans. How are we all doing today? Hi, Bwib. Hi, Shani. Hi, Sleepy. How's Tricks, everybody? Hi, Stars. And thank you, Shani. So we finished the last project that I had for this color of the month. So we're going to work on this thing that I started working on off stream, which we've talked about a little bit. These are Venus figurines, Paleolithic style. These three are done. And then these three I still have left to do. Hi, Grim. I am doing a stretchy right now.
Show me your hands.
Oh my god, why can't you just take the freaking compliment?
Okay, stretchy, sippy. Hams. I'll move my ring first so I don't stab myself. Oh, yeah. It really messes with your head, Sleepy. Like, I don't know. When I was messing with my meds, and different meds, obviously, but I got so dizzy that I had to, like, plan when I was walking down the stairs versus when I was taking my medication. And yeah, it's a lot. You're fucking with your brain chemistry, you know? All right. Hams, say something nice about myself. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. That's rough, Sleepy. I feel that. I feel like that when I have too much caffeine. Honestly. And like usually when my heart is racing like this, it means that I'm having a panic attack. And so my body is like, oh, so we should be panicking. I'm like, no. Compliment for myself. I would say that I very good at taking things that I've learned and helping other people with them. Because I've been talking with like some friends who are going through it, you know. And because I've read so many self-help books, I have a lot more constructive coping mechanisms that I can then help other people with. Yeah, pretty much, Grim. Honestly. But there's a couple people that I'm thinking of in specific there who have asked for my help in the past like week and a half. But yeah. So I would say that. I also will say Grim has seen these and so is Sleepy, that my pun game is on point. Just saying. I mean, you're a health professional, Bwib. So, you know, I'll let you make your own decisions. But yeah, so I've mentioned a bit that I'm going to be changing my Patreon tiers up a little bit. Because I got some nice paper to do postcard size prints with. And these turned out fabulous. So I'm going to be adding a print tier once a month. Then I'm also going to be adding a tier where you can get both the print and the sticker from Sticker Club. So I am working on rearranging some stuff there. Yeah, this one turned out really well. I'm thinking that this one might be the first one for the print club, honestly. Because this turned out beautiful. Beautiful. Hi, Illuminati. But because the Patreon tiers and like the little symbols that you can set for them, I've had since I started my Patreon in like 2021. It's been a while. And I don't think that the logos are currently representative of my actual art. Not yet, Aria, not yet. I'm thinking this one is going to be the first print for the print tier that I'm adding on my Patreon, where you get a postcard-sized print once a month. So it will be exclusive to patrons for a month at least. And that tier isn't up yet. I'm talking about how I'm implementing that at this precise moment. But it will be available at some point. It's just not super clear when that will happen. But because I've been like reworking my Patreon tiers, I was like, I should redo the logos for them too, because I'm adding more like tiers and shuffling things around, and the logos just don't match my art style anymore because I just made them to have something there. So I'm working on Jelly Bean tier names and such, because I can't just name something normal. I have to have it be alliteration or a pun. Like, it's required. So we've got Berry Sweet, which will be a raspberry jelly bean. And I've got more flavor ideas down here. I was just kind of like spitballing. So I was also thinking Cool Cucumber would be a fun one, but I don't know that I'm gonna fit that in. If the people that are in these tiers that don't get physical benefits want to switch over to the physical benefits, then I'll probably get rid of the original one that doesn't get you anything and just have the physical one. But Cool Cucumber I thought would be fun at some point. But I'm going to do jelly bean paintings, so we'll probably work on those on stream once I get those like inked. But I want to do like jelly bean shape, but actually have the like texture of the item. So like for the raspberry one, I want it to have like the little, I don't know what those are called. You'd think I'd know after painting them so many times. But the like juice nodules, I don't know, on the jelly bean, so that it has a texture. And like, so this one that's going to be toasted marshmallow, I want it to be like gooey. So it's going to be fun. I'm excited. But I need to work on those. I just like started really working on that this morning, so that's going to take a while. But yeah, I think this is going to be the first print for them. I do need to print the postcard like template lines on the back of this, which I already have designed because I already sell postcards. So I will just need to work on that. I also spent some time cleaning up other prints, like other print files, so that I can test those out tomorrow. And start printing them. Hello, Baba. So yeah. Progress is being made. But it's all stuff that happens behind the scenes, so it doesn't feel like anything is actually happening, you know? But we will be doing a giveaway for this print because there was something I wanted to change on it in the original file. So this one will be getting given away at some point. Because we did embellish this one. So we'll be doing a giveaway for this one. But there's some shading on this side from the scan that I've now corrected, but this one I wouldn't want to sell. Yeah, isn't it good? Like, not to toot my own horn, but damn, I really went off with this one. I do think the original of this one is still for sale in my shop if somebody wanted it. It's just kind of a weird size. I will take a progress photo. Thank you, Shawnee. And thank you for using the commands. I think I mentioned to you guys that I was having a thought about how to, like, what I wanted to make for a sticker sheet to put on the craft sticker paper that I have. And then I kind of realized last night when I was like, oh, well, I could do like a fall themed one or something. I was like, oh, wait. The Paleolithic stuff that I'm doing would make like a perfect like platform for that. So I'll probably make which I was planning to make a sticker sheet out of this stuff anyway. So I'll probably end up making a sticker sheet of the Venuses and the horses from the Paleolithic art that we did before. This is a bookmark that is also for sale in my shop. So I'll do the horses, and then I did another Paleolithic, over here I do. I did another Paleolithic background that I might take like chunks out of to make little stickers. So yeah. I think that would be a good sticker sheet for this. I could also use this as like the background for the sticker sheet so that it had like a vibe to it when you print it. But it's gonna take some work for me to get the like the cutting settings right for that, so it won't be ready like right away. But I am cooking, you know. I will say I've realized that because I picked up that print, my hands are now sparkly. Which is good to know. So I will definitely need to bag those as I embellish them. Because it doesn't hold on to it the same way that like my regular watercolor paper does. So that's good to know. Nay to the nay, very good. Yeah. Well, that's why it was a test, right? So it is good to know that it doesn't stick the same way, because like I can definitely just run my finger across and get a fair amount of sparkle, which is fine because like it's a print, so. But is something to be aware of, and definitely means they would need to be bagged, which I would do anyway. But it does mean that I should get the packaging materials before I list those, which is going to be a next month task because I'm poor this month. Okay. So the Venuses, I picked a bunch of different ones. This one is the most famous one, Venus of Willendorf. But I picked some that had kind of like varying body shapes, because a lot of them are little chunky mamas, like this one. So I told Rainbow this too. I picked this one specifically because it's more like rainbow body shape. And I thought that was cool, because most of the Venuses are kind of like, that's my shape. And I get compared to them a lot when I'm modeling. And I also picked this one because like it kind of has trans mask vibes. So here, I will show you the original because I have the reference images all on one sheet. But he kind of has trans mask vibes. You know? This looks like somebody who had top surgery to me. So I picked that one specifically for that because I wanted to have some different body shapes. Because like obviously this one is really well known. So hi Tomato. We can be smelling whatever you want. I did make Kat pick my perfume today, actually. Which I did he picked the Yesterday Haze. Sleepy and Tomato can figure out what that smells like. The rest of you have to imagine. But yeah, so we're working on these. I was a little bit worried about doing these on stream, which I discussed before, because they do be having the titty. But if I get banned off of Twitch for painting Paleolithic rock figures, then whatever, honestly. Because I think that would be a really funny way to go. Yeah, Yesterday Haze is my very favorite one. Okay, so I think... Yeah, I know, that sucks, Sleepy. I'm sorry that they canceled that one. So I think I'm gonna do, this one first. Just in a logistics sense, so I don't put my hands in wet paint. So, yeah, exactly, Tomato. Like, if you cannot handle a literal rock, then get good, you know? Do also need to clear off my palette again, because we finished the last thing we were working on with these colors. But I did do a different wash color for each of these, which part of that is just like different rocks have different colors. I don't know if you guys knew. But also, oh, interesting, Sleepy. I hope you can get that. was I saying? Each of, like, rocks have different colors, but also I think it's more visually interesting to have them be a little more different from each other. Hi, Peach. All right. Oh, you guys want to know something stupid? Something I did that was stupid? I'm sure that you do. So, you know the, can I actually show that without breaking anything? The little, you can kind of see it. The little, USB extender thingy that Sleepy got me so that I could use the better microphone. I pulled it up to shove it into my laptop today because there's, you plug it in, right? And I looked at the plug and I was like, this looks like battery goo is on there. That's not normal or good. And I was like looking at it and I was like, okay, well, let me peel this off with like a palette scraper, which I have over here. And I was like, oh no, that's not battery. That's not battery goo. I dipped it in paint at some point. So we refilled this little guy right here, Viridian Hue, which happens when it's like chunky to look the same color as battery goo. So I'm gonna need to clean that a little better after stream. But I got like the big chunk of it off. No, I did have a moment of panic though. I was like, oh shit, did I break this already? Because if I broke that already, I'm gonna be like, 1, embarrassed, and 2, horrified. Like, but no, I'm just a dingus, and I managed to put it in paint without noticing. Whoops. So yeah, that was user error and not an exploding battery, which is the better option, I think, because it's still working. So like, I know, it's so me. Also, the cat likes to sit on the table here, so it's possible that he knocked it into my palette or something when he was up here. Because I did have to move the print off of the table because he was stepping on it. So, and he did lick the sticker paper that I have over here, apparently. I don't know, he's weird. But yeah, just like, all right. Well, I did put away like all of my paintbrushes because I had too many out, but that does also mean that I need to figure out which ones I like to use again and pull them back out. Oh dear. Yeah, that would be a little different. Oh god, Sleepy. Yeah, I can't say that I've had any super glue incidents. Not you. That's fine. We'll do these unless I need more. Hi, Bean. Yeah, it's sure. If you wanted that, like, really crunchy gel look from, like, 2001, that would be a great way to do it. So I think, based on this specific... Why did I put that over there? That's not a good light choice. I always put my paint water on one side and my drink water on the other side, and I just put them on the same side. Okay, and I need... Everything is mildly in a different spot, and it's gonna mess with my brain. Tell me you're autistic without saying you're autistic. Oh, I also, speaking of autism, I finally got a scheduled meeting with that health clinic that I've been talking to since November. Because the person I was talking to kept not responding to me, and then would respond to me and need something like immediately when I couldn't do it. So we have that scheduled, which means there's not going to be a stream on Wednesday, October 1st, because I'm going to be having my brain prodded. So thank you, Sean. Okay. Me trying to decide what the hell I'm doing. It was like really frustrating, honestly, because so like I mentioned that she had finally messaged me being like, oops, sorry, I didn't know that our system would drop you if I didn't talk to you for 6 months. Basically. And I was like, okay. And she was like, so I'm going to get to you this week to schedule a call. And I was like, okay, I can't do that because I'm literally leaving the country and I'm going to be in 3 other time zones. And so I sent her a message being like, hey, I can't do that right now. And she just never responded to me. So last week I messaged again saying, just being like, hey, following up on this, and still didn't get a response. So I sent another email saying, hey, following up again on Monday, and finally got a call the same day, like 3 minutes before the office closed, to schedule something. I'm really hoping the rest of the staff is more on top of it, because when the bitch who's looking for an ADHD diagnosis is more on top of the paperwork than you, you're fucking up. Just saying. So, like, again, I will say that the way that things are set up for ADHD people kind of sucks butt. You know. But we have that going, so hopefully something will happen. But yeah, that was a bit frustrating, as you might be able to tell from my tone. I'm kind of pissed off about it. But that's scheduled now. And I feel like the person who kept ignoring me did not tell everybody exactly how much had happened. Because the person who contacted me about an appointment kept assuming that I knew things that I didn't know. So I think that this person is maybe trying to cover their own ass and hasn't been telling their coworkers exactly what has been going on. So we'll find out if I actually have everything I need when I go to the appointment. Yeah. I remember you telling me tomato. Which is like, ugh, that's so much. Finding a therapist you trust and then having them go, by the way, I'm going to be gone, is just like, ugh. Yeah, see, I have never actually had therapy. I'm just all gumption and self-help books. So, and I do think that I could benefit from somebody, like, looking at my brain and going, yeah, you've really been living like this, haven't you? And I'm like, yeah, I have. Please save me. I mean, really, I do relatively okay on my own, but getting some more direction from somebody who actually knows what they're doing would be nice. Mic on. Yeah. Yeah, I think that I could honestly use a stronger antidepressant than I'm on right now, but the option would be SSRIs, and I don't want to, because the other one gave me like a really bad side, well, relatively speaking for an SSRI, it is not an unexpected or horrid side effect, but it is one that lowers my quality of life to a point that I'm not happy with. So I would rather avoid that if I can, but I also think that they did help a lot more than what I'm currently on. Bad, Sleepy, bad. No. I'm bopping you on the nose. Yeah, I feel that, Paige. It was kind of like I told my gynecologist when we were doing the whole surgery thing, like because of my PMDD and like how badly it was affecting me, and she's like, "I'm sorry that you've gone this long feeling this way," and I was like, "What? What? What?" You weren't going to call me dramatic and tell me that I should just, like, smart my way out of it? Thank you. Because I, more often than not, have just been told I'm being dramatic about things. Which, like, yeah, sometimes I am being dramatic, but I'm also aware that I'm doing that, and I will say, I need to be dramatic about this for a second. Like, believe it or not, I am vaguely self-aware, which is part of the problem. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely have some overlap with OCD stuff. So we'll see about that. The only thing, because this first appointment is just kind of like a screening. So it's just like, okay, what do you want to do? What do you need us to do? Kind of a thing. And we'll see. Yeah, exactly, Celosia. And like I'm happy to learn more, to like understand what's happening. I am committed to long-term change that's going to make me better, you know, that kind of stuff. So I'm like not the worst patient that has ever existed, but also in my brain going, I'm getting a good grade in patience, something that is both normal to want and possible to achieve, is definitely part of the problem. Yeah, for sure, Peach. And I specifically, part of my screening is going to be like, I do not want an autism diagnosis on paper. I absolutely do not want that, even if we agree that that's part of the problem. Because at some point, I would like to not live in this country. And unfortunately, people are kind of stupid butts about autism. Which, like, points at general state of healthcare in the U.S., like Lieben knew. Yeah. Well, I mean, part of it is, like, and for me, I think this will be big, getting, like, the confirmation that I am actually aware of what's happening in my own head, because my experiences have been discounted by a lot of the people in my life. As you might have, you know, picked up on from the previous talk about antidepressants. So, like, having somebody go, oh, yeah, actually, you're right on the money, will be really nice. Because one of the things because I have been reading a fair amount of self-help books in general, because I like learning. I like knowing what's going on. But a lot of it has just been people talking about experiences that I've been told I'm being dramatic about and going, you aren't being dramatic about it. And I'm like, oh, thank God. So we'll see. I'm also not like holding my breath too hard about this being the correct place for me, given how much effort it took for me to get there in the first place. So we'll see about that. Yeah, for sure, Sleepy. And like usually I'm aware I'm overreacting to something, honestly. But the problem is that I've been told my overreactions are my regular reactions. So if I'm really upset and or triggered, I have difficulty telling which is which at that point. So I will end up discounting my own experience based on like habit a little bit, which I've gotten a little bit better at, but it's still one of those things where it's like sometimes it happens, I'm like, ah, shit. Yeah, exactly, Tomato. I do have a list somewhere, and this place was recommended to me by a friend who is also queer and is a person of color. So the fact that they've had a good experience there gives me some hope. But I also am not going to hold my breath. Yeah, Bean. It's, yeah. Yep, I feel you. Yeah, for sure, Celosia, for sure. I do think that it's really funny though that like part of my original purpose in going to the health clinic was to get on an antidepressant. Um and since then, like since I've contacted them, I have gotten on antidepressants, tested them for multiple months, changed antidepressant, and had an entire surgery where a piece of me was removed while I was waiting for them to get back to me. Which is just, it's a little ridiculous, honestly. Like, even if it's not the worst thing that could happen, that's kind of like, ugh, you guys maybe need to work on yourselves a little bit. I don't know. It is kind of like very sneaky highlight right in here that I've disappeared. Yeah. Is one of the reasons this place was good too is because they offer Zoom calls, which I said I'd prefer, but they're expecting me to come into the office, I guess, because the person who was talking to me like didn't actually tell them anything that I said. Maybe? I don't know. So we will be discussing that when I'm there too. Because like as a person who doesn't drive, it would kind of be nice if I didn't have to bother somebody else to get into my therapy appointment, you know? Oh, Lord, Celosia, go for it. I can put a hex on them. Like, if you want to share, go for it. That's fair, Bean. Yeah. There was a case where I had an allergic reaction to a medication I was taking. One of the antibiotics that it's pretty common to have an allergy with. And so I went into like a weekend clinic, and the doctor, like, I was taking other medication to deal with the situation, and the doctor there came in with like the little like the manual that tells you what all the different medications do, and was like checking it while talking to me, and then talking like an authority on the medication I was taking. I was like, that no. Like, I appreciate that you're looking something up. There were other issues with this doctor. But I appreciate that you're looking something up, but looking it up and then pretending like you know more than me about this medication that I've been on for 3 months is not helpful, actually. Oh my god, Bean. Mm-mm. Yeah, no, not good. Like, there's definitely a lot of people who do not do great in that profession. It's kind of like teachers, honestly. Like, there are some people who are just in it because it's a steady job, you know, that's going to get you money. And you can definitely tell the difference. Yeah. And I appreciate a doctor who says, I will look into this, but doing that thing where they're like, I'm going to go look this up and then I'm going to tell you about it, like I always knew, not great. Yay! Yeah, I remember a lot more of my dreams than most people do because I basically always wake up when I'm dreaming because of the massive amount of trauma nightmares I have had. Which the visual dream journal project I did help with that, actually, a fair amount. So I don't have the same trauma dreams that I once had. There are some new ones, but... Yeah, totally fair. And, like, I think some of it was just me taking power back from the dreams so I could decide what I was sharing and what I wasn't, and I could be as vague or as specific as I wanted. So I think a lot of that was just, like, taking back the power over them. But it's very personal and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that that's a great choice for everybody, just that it worked for me. Oh yeah, your dreams are super normal, Sleepy. Me when I lie. Okay. Take a photo. And I should let that dry for a little bit. Just now that we have our very colorful base, we'll be doing some Payne's Gray instead. Oh no. Like, there's also a thing with, like, melatonin specifically for me, and this happens with weed sometimes too, but I'll get trapped and I won't be able to wake up, but I'll be, like, fully aware of what's happening and my brain won't let me change anything. So if I take the, like, quote unquote recommended dose of melatonin that's on most containers, I end up trapped in, like, horror land. Like, welcome to the Terror Dome. Fight for your life. Although the amount of melatonin that most bottles suggest you take is like 5 times what your brain will have, like even a healthy brain would produce. So it can like really fuck with you. No, it's not, Peach. In fact, having night terrors at all is not normal. Most, like, quote-unquote normal people have, like, a nightmare that's kind of disturbing every once in a while. But nothing that is, like, so traumatizing that you think about it for multiple days afterwards. Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, I get those a lot, Illuminati. Actually, one of the dream journals that I did is about a loop like that. Yeah. Where are you? Oh, there's some mushrooms. That's not what I was looking for. I'll be somewhere in this stack. This one. So for those who don't know, my mom was a very severe alcoholic. And to the point that it ended up killing her. So I would regularly have nightmares where I was trying to keep her from drinking. And one of them, which, like, this was a repeated dream and not just like a single one. There were a lot in the same kind of theme. But one, I was trying to hide her car keys from her so that she couldn't drink and drive. So yeah. Yep, I'm very familiar with the nightmare loop. See, it was interesting for me because, like, my nightmares about my mom stopped when she died. And I haven't had dreams about keeping her from drinking since. So, like, some part of my brain was just like, all right, this is resolved. We don't need to worry about it anymore, which is weird. I will have dreams where she's, like, haunting me, which are sometimes not scary and sometimes are scary. But, yeah. Yeah, that's fair, Bean. That's, yeah, hard situation. This was just, like, an extended thing, so. And we did try to help. But you can't fix things for people. Dry. Oh, you do have some glitter in you because I didn't clean out my paint water container very well. Yep. It runs in the family, which is part of why I stopped drinking. I feel like putting some orange in some spots on here would actually be good. Oof. Yeah, I think that's a good call. There's just some spots in the stone where it's like kind of orangey red here. We do that and then layer some other stuff over it. I think that will get the point across a little bit better. Yeah, sometimes it takes a lot for you to, like, actually learn the lesson. And that can suck, but it also served its purpose, you know? Okay. That looks so much more saturated on camera than it does in person. It's so weird. So, like, that looks super saturated, but, like, I noticed the notebook looks way less saturated. It's so weird. I don't get it. It's almost like this camera was not made for streaming art. Weird. Perhaps tomato. Perhaps there's a key in there somewhere. Yeah, I realized that I was treating people like my mother, and that's why I stopped drinking. There was a specific fight that I had with Grim where I was entirely unfair. And was very cruel, and I realized that I was doing to Grim what my mother did to us when she was drunk. And I haven't had a drink since then. Because it was kind of like one of those things where it's like, I'm not going to put anybody else through what my mom is putting us through, you know? Yeah, it is. Oh, I meant to put more paint spray in this palette, and I never did. It's so interesting what sounds that picks up and what it doesn't. I think you are a small bottle? Maybe? I just have a few paint colors. This honestly isn't a lot of paint colors for somebody who does art for a living, but I do not have a very good organization system here. Although I will say it's probably more contained than many professional artists. Is that you? No. That's the second tube of the black that I don't like. You? No. And squash, squash, squash. Not you. Not you. Not you. I haven't had to refill this one in a bit because I put a lot in the last time I did. Yeah, everybody deals with it a different way. My solution was just to like completely stop. I know that my uncle specifically limits how many beers he's allowed to have. So he will only buy that many beers that he's allowed to have. So that he can't actually have any more. Which is not uncommon. Even for people who are... There you are. Way at the bottom. For people who are still drinking hard stuff, who are functional alcoholics, they'll often only buy the amount that they know that they can drink and still be functional the next day. But you know, different ways to get the same result. Whatever works for you. Okay, let's filling this. But there's also a thing, especially in people with ADHD, where like you can function like an alcoholic and not technically be an alcoholic because your brain chemistry doesn't change the same way that an alcoholic's does, but you are still doing an unhealthy dopamine-seeking activity. That's fair. I shouldn't have put that away because this needs to go back in there. And actually, you can go in there. vaguely trying to keep organized, which really is just a variety of piles. You know how it goes. Do I have anything else to say? I feel like I'm forgetting something. This is why I'm like a business thing. Oh, I mailed out September stickers today. Hi, Dizzy. Thank you for the resub. I did mail out these stickers today, so if you're part of the sticker club, these are headed your way. If your name has... Oh, I was going to say something, but that would actually apply to 2 people. If your name has the word doodle in it, you might expect a larger envelope because I gave you something else as well. But yeah, so these stickers are on the way, and the sticker for October is all done and printed and ready to be mailed to you. If you would like to join the sticker club for October, you can have a little ghosty. A clear little ghosty. I thought it was fun to do it on the clear so that it was actually ghostly, you know? And I did do a hollow laminate over this. These ones, though, with the hollow laminate are too thick for my cutter to actually cut correctly. So a lot of these are hand cut, which means that they will not be entering my shop in its current state. Because I'm not hand cutting every single sticker. That's like, I'm not about that life. So if you want that specific iteration of it, you will need to join the sticker club for October. Also, I can write on this, actually, because we also finished our cicada. I do think that I could use the color of the month on our Willendorf here. Which we'll see if I actually do that or not. Alright. Moving on. Some grayer colors here. I think I'm probably just going to do a quick wash of this to get the color closer to what I want, and then we'll start building shadows again. It's like the underpainting of blue and magenta that I did here will show through, but we'll get everything tonally similar. I can also put in the high highlights while we're doing this. I do think even though it wasn't on my to-do list this week, I do think I'm going to work on getting those jelly bean things inked just so that we can work on those on stream. The color and focus that's winning in the poll right now for next month will be good for a couple of those. Oh, yep, good luck. And good to see you. I feel like it's been a while, although I know you lurk a fair amount. Alright. This looks so much more purple on screen than it does in person. Right here we have a little bit of a highlight, so push through that. So I'll have a highlight right through here. I am probably going to end up using some white ink on the top of this too, which I have with the other ones. So. Great. That sounds super fun. Where else do I need? There's one spot right here. little bits right through here. But I do think that on this one specifically, the highlights are harsh enough that doing the ink will probably be the play. And a little highlight through here. Okay, that's closer already. The fun thing about these pieces is that I get to wait for them to dry in between. So when I've been doing these off stream, I've been like playing a game or something in between layers drying. Or working on other work if I'm more honest, so like packing stickers while I'm also painting this. I don't know where the boy went. Wandered off. I'm just gonna sit here and think really hard about those jelly beans and how I'm gonna do them. Don't mind me. Disappeared into the mind palace. Because I know for sure what I want to do for like the watermelon one. The apple pie one is gonna be a thing too. I have a concept, but it's not fully solidified. I don't know how to explain it, but like I can visualize like ideas and stuff in my head. But sometimes, like before it's fully formed, it feels like looking through like some of that bubble glass where like the image is kind of warped and faded kind of thing, like cloudy. So it's not fully formed yet. Which means I can't quite get there. I gotta think about it really hard. Gotta work on carving it out, cleaning my glass window a little bit. Should have brought my other sketchbook out here, but we can just use a piece of scratch paper actually and start kind of considering which pencil are you? Because like I'm thinking just doing like a basic jelly bean shape for all of them. And then like the watermelon will have a rind visible. So like kind of like that. And then have the little seeds through here. There are a couple other fruit ones I was thinking, but I didn't need quite as many as I came up with. At least not so far. We'll see how many more random shit things I add to my Patreon. But like kind of like that. Yeah, exactly. You gotta rotate it. You know that that cat that rotates that makes the sound when it rotates really fast? That's me, except conceptualizing my own art. So I'm just seeing a jelly bean that looks like a watermelon going at top speed while my brain is going doop 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 doop. It's exactly like that. Also, like some of these jelly bean flavors are vaguely based off of Jelly Belly flavors, but I also want to be careful with that for a number of reasons. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like that. And I also do need to wait for an answer from some of my patrons about if they want the current tier that they're at to stay or if they would prefer to move over to physical benefits. Yeah, I'm glad you guys understand me. Actually, I can check and see if one person has messaged me back right now. So that will change how many of these I'm doing. Not yet. Not that they need to get back to me immediately, just if they had gotten back to me, I could do a thing. For the raspberry one, I'm thinking that I put like a little stem here, like in the middle. But right now that looks more like a strawberry, but it's okay. We'll get there. And then do a little like seed pockets. Again, you'd think that I would remember what these things were called since we've done them so often, but you would be wrong because I have brain no member disease. Like do kind of like that. So it's just like raspberry but jelly bean shape. I do need to get like the scrungly little leaves that come up because that's an important feature of a raspberry. Kind of a thing. Then there was a root beer one. And then root beer float for the physical benefits. So there are a couple options for that. So I could do like classic root beer float kind of glass on the outside. Like one of those mugs. Which would involve me painting glass, which I hate doing, but you know, sometimes we gotta push ourselves a little bit. So just have like the bubbles coming up through here. And then for the one with the physical benefits, it's just a root beer float. So it's like the same thing, but with a little extra. So I would just put a little ice cream on top, you know? Maybe I want a straw to be coming out of it. Hi, BP! Good to see you. Then the other one that has possibly two is like the apple pie. Which, like, even though I don't believe in lattice pie crust, because it gives you less pie crust, that is the best visual for this. Actually, maybe I want to have like a little, like the actual crust on the bottom here. I have the like scalloped edge along here. Maybe like actually make the crust kind of like this so that you can see the innards a little bit better. So it kind of feels like a slice. With some apple bits in here. Like that. And then again, the one with the physical benefit would be with an ice cream, so it's a la mode. Chugging along. How about you, BP? I do pretty well, all things considered. My body is back to causing, its normal problems instead of new problems. And then I had like a toasted marshmallow one. In a s'more. Conflicted. Hi, Herpel! And then there was also a banana split, which I think is relatively easy, honestly. Because, like, jelly bean is already vaguely banana shaped. So just kind of like that. And then we have our little ice creams. And I'll probably put a little cherry on it outside of the jelly bean shape. Ew, work? Disgusting. Good luck. And then have our little sauces dripping down. Which I have done a banana split a fair amount of times in my life, weirdly enough, like drying them. And then the last one was the s'mores, so toasty marshmallow, that's right. So I think just this one's mostly, honestly, going to be a color thing and not really an inked one. But I do want some goo. I want him to feel a little melted. Like that. And then maybe I want to do like a graham cracker underneath with a little bit of chocolate. Controversial here for me. I don't put chocolate on my s'mores because I don't like the texture change. So I just do graham cracker and marshmallow. Like I need to have like the break in there. Otherwise it reads as saltine. I can put some little chocolate bits right there. Maybe. I think just on the bottom so that the jelly bean shape is still visible. I need to decide if I want to paint, like, once I know if I'm doing it or not. I might as well just do them. If I want to do, like, an ice cream scoop by itself and then superimpose it over the jelly beans. Oof, I'm sorry, BP. Yeah, that's not fair to throw on you, honestly. Because, like, there are some things you can boycott, and there are some things that, like, it is impossible to really boycott because of monopolies. And not the fun kind that Rainbow's working on. Oh, maybe I want to do, like, kind of like a bubbly texture up here, too. Because I'm a golden brown marshmallow person. And not a burn one. If I do that, maybe that helps a little bit. Yeah, I'm sorry, BP, that sucks. So I could do the ice cream separately, or I could repaint both of these to make it a little bit different for each, and we'll see if I'm doing that or not. Because that'll depend on what my patrons in those tiers would prefer. But there, we got concepts down. I can probably mess with some colors in a little bit in between these things. And it feels like something that you should, like, discuss in private, probably, versus confronting somebody over, like, in a public place. Especially if they've just done you a favor. Yeah, that's rough. I'm sorry. Like, at the end of the day, you gotta choose which things you're boycotting and which you aren't. And it's a personal decision, and you just got to pick the one that you can live with, you know? So there are some things I'm boycotting and some things I am not capable of boycotting because of, like, location and stuff like that. So it's something you got to figure out for yourself. No, you're fine, BP. We get political here a fair amount. And if I really didn't want to talk about it, I would tell you so. Getting the texture up top here is a little difficult. Well, I hope your day gets better. We're just going to deepen up the shadows with this like more mellow shading color and then do another wash over the top, I think, with the same. I think, well, we're getting there. We're getting there. Started talking about the thing and then I didn't finish. One of those things where it's like, oh yeah, I started talking about something and I don't think I ever finished my thought. I just like disappeared into my own brain. But the color that's winning on the color and focus poll for next month right now, I think will work for a couple of the jelly beans. And I also have some bug ideas for that one that we'll get to do because I'm really hoping to finish just like the files for the like the actual paintings, I guess is a better way to put that, for the bug stickers so that I can start trucking. I still need to work on finding somebody with a bigger 3D printer than my other friend. See if I can get that template printed. Or the government could stop doing ridiculous tariffs and I would buy one from the person who made the pattern. Because the person who made the pattern is in Spain. And I would love to contact them and be like, hey, if you size this up to this, would you still be able to print it for me? Because if so, I would buy that from you. The other option is that I change the size of the stickers I was thinking of to fit in a standard like card package, which would make them a bit smaller. Like it would lower the general cost. So I wouldn't have to charge quite as much for them, but I don't know that that's really like as satisfying. Because I do have like a vague standard size that I do for like all of my stickers. So it would make them smaller than that. I don't know. I gotta think on it. Because I do think having the folder would make life like a lot easier for me. And would also lower the time cost that I would need to put on top of everything else. But there isn't like a right decision. I just need to pick one and go with it. But those are the worst kind of decisions. Like if there's actual like benefit for one decision or the other decision, that's a way easier decision, you know? But this one is just like, which way do I want to compromise the image that I have in my head for how this would go? Starting to look a bit more on the color front. This kind of style ends up looking like nothing right up until it actually looks like something. So you spend a lot of time just looking at it going like that. That's just blobs. What are you doing? And then suddenly you finish it and you're like, oh. Oh, I will take a sippy. Thank you. And a stretchy. You got it. I do need to deepen up in here quite a bit. We may end up using some black on this too. Do you think this needs to be a bit darker in general? All right, stretchy. And hams. Hey, love. Good to see you. Thank you, BP. I don't think I have anybody active at all. Beep, boop. Also stand to put some more chapstick on it, actually. Oh my gosh, in Rainbow's stream yesterday, somebody was like, I think it was Kuro maybe, was like, okay, give me your weirdest conspiracy theories. And like, in general, I don't like conspiracy theories because they almost always boil down to either anti-Semitism or racism. Like, almost always. If you, like, even the ones that seem a little silly, if you peel back the layers, that's what's underneath. But I will tell you, I didn't tell Rainbow's chat because I was in the middle of something else. But my high school boyfriend thought that chapstick was a conspiracy to sell more chapstick because his lips never got chapped before he started using chapstick. So he thought that chapstick actually ended up making your lips more chapped so that you would use more chapstick. I dated that boy for 3 years and thought I was going to marry him. He also, so once he started driving, he had a car. And his theory was that if he scraped his, like, drove all the way up in a parking spot so that he would scrape his bumper on the, like, concrete bar at the end, that eventually he would scrape off enough of the bumper so that he wouldn't scrape the bumper on it anymore. There was also one time where he left the sunroof open on his car in Portland, Oregon. And it rained, and his car got so wet that the seats started growing moss. Yeah. 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 But yeah, yeah, he was one of those people who are like smart stupid, you know? So like there were a lot of things that he was very smart at, but the rest of it like suffered for him being smart in the other areas because he couldn't be smart everywhere. So the places where he was stupid, he was really stupid. Which happened to include being a boyfriend. But, you know, to be fair, that was both of our first serious relationships. So, like, neither of us knew what we were doing. which is just kind of how it goes. But yeah. I think about that sometimes and I'm like, yeah, that's a real thought that somebody had that sounds like it's not real. This, I will also say, this is the guy who cheated on me with somebody over World of Warcraft, which is why I still don't like World of Warcraft. He also had unmedicated ADHD, like super obviously, and his parents like refused to actually believe that. So they just never helped him. So yeah, some of it was homegrown and some of it was other people making his life purposefully more difficult. His parents, like both sets of his parents, also fucking despised me. So there you go. Which, like, I think that's, for a lot of people, that's just the fate of the first partner. Is that parents realize that it's like, oh, my little baby is growing up, and then they take that feeling and like misplace it as rage against the first partner. Especially mothers, I have found this to be an issue. I think the only person who hated me more than his mother did was his stepmom, actually. Which, like, I don't know why you have beef with me. Like, I'm 16 years old. I've been trying to be nice to you. But if you aren't going to be nice to me, then I'm not going to put in the effort. There's a cat hair on this painting. Where'd you go? I saw you for half a second and then you disappeared. The photo for this one is also, like, way worse. I'm feeling that from the reference image to this. Honestly. Yeah, he's so helpful that I had to move all my art off of this table because he kept sitting on it. And then he licked the silicone sticker paper, apparently. I also gave him some cheese today in a place that I don't normally give him cheese, and he didn't eat it. I had to pick it up off the floor and throw it away. So I wonder if he only wants to eat cheese if I'm watching. Which isn't 100% true because I can't leave my plate alone if I leave the room and there's cheese on it. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I think I've maybe kept myself from liking this one because I did the first layer of shadowing as like a really intense blue. I could also just desaturate it when I scan it, and like nobody but me will really know. Yeah, exactly. Although he really is pretty good about not bugging me about it. But he does understand that when I eat a certain portion of my breakfast, that means that I'm about to be done eating, which means he's about to get cheese. So the second I start eating the dried mango on my plate, that's when he's like perks up and starts staring at me with his big kitty eyes. I've got shadows here a little bit too like harsh. And maybe if I smooth these out a little bit, I'll feel better about life. Or I'll make it worse, and then I won't like it. But, you know, 6 of one, half dozen of the other, it's fine. Welcome back, Shawnee. Yeah, that's better. All right. Ooh, good. I'm glad that you got a good amount done, Shawnee. I'm sorry that you still have more to do, but good work on what you did get done. Oh, I'm still sleepy. No, you're not. You're Katie. Uh-huh. I think right here is also a little bit too harsh. It's better. Also the legs. I feel like I probably should have just kept messing with it while it was still damp. But we can only do what we can do at the time that we can do it, you know? Yeah, that's better. Okay, the problem I had was that the shadows were too harsh. Now that we've smoothed out those lines a little bit, I like it a lot better. I do still think that some of the shading on the chest is not correct. I think I kind of have more shadow coming down this way. And a bit of shadow like right through here. Which I will smooth out because I won't like the harsh lines, as we've discovered. Yeah, it sucks, Shawnee, and I wish that I was closer to you so I could just come and hang out and help you clean and stuff. And, you know, also slap those people with a rotten fish. That's my new thing now, slapping it with a rotten fish. Anything that irks me, gonna get slapped with a rotten fish. The first thing getting slapped is Star's internet connection. Yeah, but even if it's something understandable, the fact that they refuse to work on it is also worthy of fish slapping. Just saying. Got so much paint along the rim of my paint water cup. And also the fact fact that because they have you to rely on, they can get away with not growing is kind of fucked up, and I want to slap them about it. I thought of something to say and then it immediately left my brain. Oh, I was thinking I might do, speaking of that, there's a piece of art that I did that is basically based around the same conversation. Where is it? It's around here somewhere. But I was thinking I might do prints of that one, but I don't know if anybody else would, like, want it. I might, like, I don't know, put a vote up of what kind of prints people want. Because it's hard to tell what people are interested in and what they aren't. Especially with the, like, amount of art that I have just sitting around. Where is that one? Not there. Everybody's like, oh, Katie, you're so organized. That's all a lie. Got it? No. Well, that would be another one that somebody might want to print of. You have too much art. Maybe I'll do a big original art sale. Because I'm tired of having all this shit. And I don't mean that my art is shit. I just mean I have a lot of stuff sitting around. And there's so much of it that it has become shit. You know what I mean? At a certain level of stuff, it just automatically becomes shit. I did go through and prep some of my paintings to do prints with. Specifically a fair amount of the like Alaska stamp stuff. But I think those ones are pretty pretty, you know. Pretty safe design choices. I put that one somewhere else. I don't see it in here. Or maybe I'm blind and I'll find it. I'm not looking for it. There it is. I went by it 3 times. But this one I was thinking I might do a print of. Because I feel like it's on brand. Yeah, it's mostly that I need to get the flooring done, Shawnee, and then I'll be able to do the other stuff. But I might do a print of this one because I kind of feel like it's on brand, even though this one hasn't been very popular, which I think is because a lot of people like just don't get it the same way that perhaps Shawnee and I do. Yeah, I'm gonna pay somebody to install it. Honestly, I cannot. I'm not smart enough to do that in the correct areas. And considering how if I do too much physical activity, my body tries to kill itself, like it's not a smart choice. Okay, this looks better. That looks more like a something. Do you think I need to use a smaller paintbrush to get some of the like really intense shadows in there? With a darker color? I don't know. I'm hoping to do like actual wood. But we'll see. It's a pretty small room, so it's like cost-wise it's probably pretty accessible. And my dad has offered to help with some of the cost for that and getting a computer. But I feel like with, I don't know, as much various crafts and stuff I do, it's probably a better bet to do hardwood. Because it will hold up better over time and will actually add value to the house instead of just being like, oh, it's a thing that's here, you know?
We'll drag you out into the light, quiet like the vines. What are you afraid of? If you really have not
Alright, have a good look.
better beasts with bigger bones, birds that never fly, can't our children? What's crowded under concrete skies, blood and stone split down the spine.
Okay. I think this one is like mostly done.
To stretch your eye,
The rock for this one is like straight up black, so I've added like a lot of color to it. I'm trying to decide if I want to do like another wash that will strip some of that color a little bit, or if I want to just leave it pretty colorful. And the answer is, I don't know. I don't want to make any decisions. But I can also feel myself like fading a little bit because this is not a dopamine project at the moment. You know? So staying focused on it is like for me.
venom keys to keep them safe.
I'm also just sleepy. Like, when am I not sleepy though? Like, I don't remember the last time that I was not tired.
Oh my tongue, lolly sway. What grows too large must devour itself. Blood and
I do think that I could intensify the shadow here a little bit.
diamond blade to stretch your eye.
There's definitely a more drastic shadow from here up.
This is
Yeah, a little bit, honestly. I said in Rainbow Stream yesterday that he was infecting me with EP bitch disease because he was like sleeping with his hot little butt pressed up against my leg, and I was like, I'm so tired right now. Like, a nap sounds so good.
the lion's mouth outside the screen.
And I think part of it also is that I put the heated blanket on for him on my bed, which means that I'm sitting next to something that is extra warm too, which tends to make me sleepy. Like, if I cannot sleep, my trick is to put something on my head to make myself warm, and then I get tired. Oh, they're hanging out online, BP. They actually aren't close enough to, like, hang out in person. Oh, welcome in, Raiders. Hello. Welcome in, Vixen Wolf Gem. Thank you for the raid. Oh, Cult of the Lamb. Always a fun one. I feel like that fits with the username, too, honestly. Yeah, welcome in, folks. Let me know how your stream was. Whenever you catch up. I know that I say stuff like right away, but when I raid people, I don't hear anything they say for like a solid 7 minutes because my laptop is always so behind. So, whenever you pop in, I will repeat the things that I have just said. I have a bad habit of just immediately saying things. Oh, hi, Tens. All of it makes sense now. All right, the pieces fall into place. Welcome in, folks. I guess I should do like an intro spiel. Hi, my name is Katie. I do a bunch of watercolor art and some like goofy, silly stuff for the most part. Right now we are working on some paintings of Venus figurines from the Paleolithic era, so the little carved ladies. Yeah, nice. I'm glad that you had a good stream. And thanks for bringing everybody in, both you and Tens. And right now I'm waiting for this layer of paint to dry, which is why it's such riveting content at the moment. Which is always a fun thing to figure out with watercolor. Oh yeah, cool. What kind of art do you do, Vixen? And you should feel free to drop a link to your stuff, your socials, or shop, or whatever you would like. Please feel free. Yeah, Tens is good at mixing circles. And it's always a good thing to know Tens. Honestly, because you end up meeting a bunch of other cool people. I will take a photo. Thank you, Shawnee. I did refund the one you did earlier because it was still in the queue, and I decided that you should have your points back, even though it's not expensive. Thank you for gently bapping me. That's another one that I should turn up or boost the sound on. Actually, I'm going to write that down before I forget. Boost bap sound. I will probably remember what that means when I end stream. Yeah. Tens is definitely one of those people who's like really good at networking. Which means that for people like me who are an extreme introvert, if you have a Tens in your life, it makes your life a lot easier. And I was actually just talking about how sleepy I am, so if you hear me yawning, I apologize. Hi, Red Bean! Ooh. We're gonna see if me opening this makes my laptop shit itself. Because I want to see. So if my stream suddenly drops down to like 3 frames per minute, that's why. Oh, that's so cute! I love that. I always love like textured lines. They slap so hard. That's so cute. Ooh, excellent. We'll follow you. So I do actually use Instagram a fair amount still, honestly. So always a good spot. Yeah, thanks for popping in. And you should feel free to go de-stream or get some self-care. This goes for anybody who came in on the raid. Not just the streamer, but please go take care of yourself. That's more important to me than having your view. But if you want to drop a follow so that you can find me again, that would be cool. But you don't have to either. Like, follow your bliss.
This is a self-care checkpoint. Do you need to take meds? Get some water, some food? Take a break or a stretch? Please do so now. Thank you.
Yeah. Enjoy your lurk, and thank you for the raid and popping in and sharing your Insta and for the follow. These are Paleolithic rock figures, Red Bean. They're called Venus figurines, like the goddess Venus. And there are tons of them from a wide variety of times. And they all do depict ladies. And depending on who you talk to, they just depict pregnant women. Or femininity and fertility, basically. They might just depict pregnant women, which I think the people who think that, have never, seen a fat body before. Because this is literally just what I look like. That's just me, except for the cool hairdo. I don't have a cool hat like that. There's also a theory that, women themselves carved these because the proportions of the figurines do kind of match what people can see when they look down at their own body if they have this kind of body shape. So there's a lot of different theories, and as with any object that an archaeologist doesn't know what it was for, it's called a ritual artifact. They're like, we don't really know what this was for. Ritual. Yeah, that's a more recent theory, specifically from when feminism started getting pushed into archaeology from the women who were working in it. I actually wrote a whole report on that in college, that the teacher wanted 20 pages and then was mad at me for putting in extra stuff to pad the paper. If you want a coherent paper that's 20 pages, you need to give me a better topic, because I didn't even get to pick my own topic. So, side-eyeing this teacher. He also had like anger management issues, but you know. So yeah, I've been working on these to go with as extra assets for a week planner that I'm working on that features some other Paleolithic art I've done. So we've done horses. This specifically is a bookmark that's available in my shop, and it's two-sided. So I'm gonna do the horses as part of that too, and then this is the background for it. Hi, welcome in, folks. Yeah. A lot of stuff like that. It's also a way to not say that this was somebody's wank material. And I know I's community, so I know that they're okay with me saying that the second that they come into my stream. Hi, everyone. Welcome in. Thank you, Shani. Hi, Diabra. Hi, I. How is stream? What were you doing today? I didn't get a chance to pop in. And you should feel free to drop your links if you would like to for people who don't know you. Hi, Bubba. The cat has come over. Horror today. Oh, yeah. Sleepy has also been playing that. Thank you for the follow. Yeah. What, Bubba? Are you just uncomfortable because Greg's getting ready to leave? Is that the problem? I've got a cat down here. We're house sitting a cat, I guess. Pet sitting a cat while his mother gets settled in a new place. And I think that because Greg is getting ready to leave for class, he's disgruntled. Yep. It's been a long time now, too. Holy shit. But today we've been working on Venus figurines, which is what I was talking about just a second ago. Because I'm working on a little, week planner pad that I'm going to do a Paleolithic theme for. And I'm also going to make a sticker sheet based off of these. Yeah, no, Red Bean. That is not an appropriate thing to say here when I was talking about how all of these figures look like me. Some people just look like this from the start. And we shouldn't try to deride their body types, alright? I think it's the other way around, I think you've been putting up with me. But yeah, I know that you need to go de-stream and, do your before bed things, so. You are also a delight, so I think it's perhaps a point of view situation. How's your finger, actually? Have you decided if it's broken or not? I don't think that's my phrase. I think I picked that up from somebody else. Oh no, I'm sorry, Yeah, that's also a bit heteronormative, Red Bean. Because, men aren't the only people who like tits and some men don't like tits. So I think that joke shows a worldview that doesn't really fit in with this stream very well. Good, good. I hope it heals up, because you said that you'd broken that one specifically before. So I appreciate the apology. If we can just, you know, not say stuff like that and move on, it's all good. Yeah, why not? You could also just a thought here, stop breaking yourself. Just a thought. You've also got a fair number of black eyes this year too. Ai does Krav Maga, for people who aren't in the know. He's not just randomly snapping his own fingers. Yeah, exactly. Well, you had like 2 different ones at least that I've seen. Okay, okay. All of time runs together. You know how it is. Yeah, I think combined with all my other issues, I would probably die. Honestly. Like, one of my pieces would completely detach. Because I have trouble keeping my hips in place when I'm, like, walking. So. Is this dry? Not quite. Yes, yes. D-stream, get some seats, and I'll see you probably on Sunday. I think there are a couple of places where I could pull highlights up here, actually. Like right through here is a little bit brighter because of the way the lights are. I've watched both I and Sleepy play some of Not Human. And I would say it's pretty creepy, but not like... It's not like Resident Evil level creepy, you know, where you are going to have a panic attack about it. At least for me. It's not like scary, it's just kind of spooky. But it is definitely like spoopy. Okay. This picture is this reference photo that I'm using is not a very good photo. Yeah, same, Diavra. I haven't seen like anything that like made me think, oh, I'm gonna see this in my nightmares tonight or something. Spot right here. But I do think the streaming it probably makes it less spooky too, I would think, because everybody is riffing, you know? So there's a lot of like weird looking characters that people will kind of make fun of just because like the art style makes them look really weird. Welcome back, Tens. I really wish they would add audio only to desktop, because it would be like really useful. And it just seems like a good option, honestly. Oh, wow. I'm a good co-driver. Like, I'm a good passenger. This one? Oh, I'm sorry, Peach. Welcome back. I'm sorry that your sink is fucked. This one is just colored layers, basically. So it's the same kind of thing that we've done on all of these. You guys haven't seen me work, but I do this, the style on basically everything. So I started with like a basic color wash like this. The basis for this one was actually green. And then I built up shadows in brown and a little bit of like dark gray. And then the highlights here are white ink, which the ink makes the highlights look sharper, which makes something look a lot shinier. So like if you look at this pencil that happens to be metal, for instance, versus like a glossy paintbrush, you can see the difference in the highlight. So you have like a much stronger highlight right here than you have on the paintbrush because it's a different material. So the higher highlight contrasted with a darker and harsher shade just makes it look shinier, basically. So I used white ink on this one, and I just used gouache on these two, which is why they look a little softer in the highlights. And this one actually also has pretty intense highlights because it's a very shiny kind of stone. So we'll be doing some white ink on that one too. And this one is actually technically stone material, but it's really shiny. Here, I will show you the reference image if I can find where I put it. So this one is actually like, I can show you the reference images for both of those here. So those are the reference images I was using. So you can see that this stone clearly sucks up more of the light and isn't as shiny because, so it's more matte because the highlights and the shadows are softer and more spread out. And then this one is shinier because you have the higher highlights and then the really deep shadows that have kind of harsher lines. Which is why shading is important. Like, it gives you a lot of information. And if you don't do art, you don't necessarily think about it until you're, like, trying to replicate something, you know? So here's the reference for the one we're working on right now. So you can see that this one has some higher highlights and the stone itself is quite a bit darker. Which I think I could make it that dark, but I also think that it would lose a lot of the charm and the like information about the carving style if I do that. So I'm probably going to leave it about here. And we can just add some highlights on that. And then I think that one's done. Yeah, the color for this one is very lapis lazuli. And actually, the color I used for the undershading, so the underpainting, so like this bit, was magenta. And then I did Prussian blue for the shading underneath, and then we did layers of Payne's gray to make it more stone-like, I guess. But Prussian blue was a pigment that replaced lapis lazuli, actually. So French ultramarine specifically was the paint that used lapis lazuli as the pigment until it doesn't use lapis lazuli anymore. It uses a man-made pigment now. But you can still buy genuine lapis lazuli, and it costs about $1 million. All that to say, you're so right, Shawnee. Like, good call. even without the historical background knowledge, you got it on the head. It does look like it would be fun to chew, Sleepy, and that's very you-coded to say. Super raccoon-coded. And yeah, like Sleepy said, I didn't start out doing this stuff. This is like practice and just doing it a lot. And my number one piece of art advice to like learn to be a better artist is make shit art. Make bad art. Just give up. Say fuck it. And just make a bad piece of art. Because that's how you end up learning and getting better. So like, let me see something that... Find something that I did like a long time ago to compare here. I don't know that I really have. This might be a good example, actually. I showed you guys the piece this study was for before, but so this was like a set of can studies that I did, so crushed soda cans. And you can see like there is a concept of shading, so I have like the shapes here and some highlights, but it doesn't have the same level of shine or the same like careful placement of the shadows on this, right? So I made this in 2021 and this was this month. So like, if you just keep doing it and keep trying it, you'll get there. Yeah, exactly. You just gotta do what you want, and you have to just, like, let go of the concept of perfect art. Because, like, the point of art isn't to be perfect. The point of art is to be art. And sometimes art is stupid and silly, and sometimes art is, like, really realistic shading or whatever, and like, so like I did both of these this month. Get you a bitch who can do both. You know, like, you just gotta have fun. Yeah, for sure, Illuminati. I also, like, watch other artists do stuff, which helps me pick up, like, tips and stuff. So a lot of my shading technique I definitely picked up from Trisha Hall, who is saying that she's coming back to streaming soon-ish, but she has been taking a break. So I would highly recommend hanging out with her sometime. Yeah, this is the Patreon sticker for October. And it's a clear background. So he looks ghostly, you know? Thank you, Shani. But yeah, if you want this sticker, you could join my sticker tier on Patreon in October. The sticker for this month, I just sent out the envelopes today, and it's our eggplant that we did. Just Patreon. Although I could actually, because I do have a page on my website that's specifically the sticker club stuff. That's it's under the current project header. Yep, that's good. All good. But that's actually not a bad idea. I should link to adding it to the list. Link to the sticker club stickers. Actually, let me see if I actually remember the way I was like I try to remember the way that the links are formatted on my own website, and I regularly forget. So if I can figure that out, I will. It just... Oh, that's great. The headline is not correct. Never mind. I will be fixing that off stream. It's just like copy of other page, and I'm like, why'd you do that though? Like, I gave it a header. Did you just not save it? All right, sure, that's fine. People have been looking at that for however many months since I added that. That's great. I love that for me. So no header, break skateboard, or maybe break server. I feel like that's perhaps more accurate in this case. Okay, I think that we just need to add highlights on this guy and then we're set. This guy, gender neutral. Oh, great. That's fantastic. Super helpful and fun for you. Honest being a nuisance in the back room, and you can hear Greg snarking at him.
This is a self-care checkpoint. Do you need to take meds? Get some water, some food? Take a break or a stretch? Please do so now.
Thank you.
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
Thank you. Hi, Pioneer. Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on in the back room right now, I think. So when I'm dabbing with my finger like that, it's just lightening up the, like making the highlight a little less intense. Because it's just like smudging the ink a little bit. Basically. Ooh, affirmation card, sure. I need to intensify this guy a little bit. Just a little. Make it more shaped. He needs a shape. And like right here. Yeah. I think I actually need to add some more up here because this looks a little off. Like yay, and then kind of like that. There we go. All right. The next question is, where are my affirmation cards? Things have gotten moved a lot. Because I keep having to put stuff away and pull stuff back out. Because cat. You know how it is. That cute? No. Also just am a mess, you know. But the box is like bright pink, so it's kind of hard to miss. There it is. I haven't actually shuffled cards in a while. Can I actually do this still? We're all right. Okay. I used to do that because I used to do like daily pulls for tarot cards, and I haven't done that in a while. Okay, Sleepy, left or right? Do you think I'm going to end up softening that ink? Looks too intense. Left. Be open to experiencing love at any time. Yeah, most days I can manage the bridge shuffle all right, but sometimes it really hurts my thumbs, like if my tendons are really bad. Conversation card. I've been pulling the ones we've done out, which means that they're just like spread in random places all over this table. You know how it is. Anytime. All right. Left or right, Red Bean? Open to Rambly, more like open for Rambly. Am I right, chat? All right. So these cards have 3 discussion questions on them. Some of them end up being pretty heavy. So I will read all 3 and you can decide to answer one of them or all of them or none of them or whatever floats your boat. The first one is, what is the ideal retirement age? I will answer that one right off the bat. 10 years ago for me. If you had the world's attention, whole world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say or do? And the last one is, have you ever won or been chosen for something despite thinking you had no chance? Whole world's attention for 30 seconds, I probably would just not do anything truly productive and say stop being a dumbass repeatedly. Be nice to each other, assholes. That kind of vibe. That's fair, Sleepy. Honestly, you could also just turn around and fart really loudly, and I feel like that would get the same kind of message across. Hi, Jess. Thank you. Sleep well. And won or been chosen for something. I don't know. Have you ever won or been chosen for something despite thinking you had no chance? Excuse me. Yeah, you gotta dial that fart up to 11. For sure. Like, this is what it sounds like when my president talks, and just fart for 30 whole seconds. Ah, yeah, I do remember that, Sleepy. I'm like, I don't know that I have been, that I didn't, like, expect. Oh, that's nice, Peach. Yeah, I don't really, like, enter a lot of contests or anything. And I tend to also not enter giveaways. Just because other people could have that. That's awesome, Jess. Oh, the cat hair again. Here it is. Look at my painting. I think I just need to white ink pens I use are water soluble, so you can just kind of water them down a little bit, which I think make me feel better about this. They feel kind of intense right now. I guess there was one time where at my college, I live in Alaska, right? So we have a hockey team, as you might suspect. And they do like a raffle for jerseys, and the money goes to some charity or something. But it's a jersey for somebody on the team, and like an old jersey that they wore in the last season, and the player will sign it. I won one of those, which I was surprised by, because like a lot of people enter those. But like if I'm entering something, I'm aware that there's a chance, I guess. So perhaps I just think about this differently than many people do. Yeah, I think ideal retirement age is like 3 years old, actually. I should be allowed to quit before I even started. Pay me to exist. Okay, I think that's better for this guy. I could start another one of these, but I probably won't. Although I think we'll do this one next, and I can use the color of the month for that one. So we'll probably put a little bit more thought into that one than we did for this guy. I think my shading is like, my shading slaps, honestly. Yeah, no, you're good. I can always work on that, you know. But I think my shading has gotten like really, really good, and doing the different textures of the different kind of stone has like really shown that, like how much I've improved there. I also really like, because I decided to do a different color base for each of these, so I really like the kind of like rainbow effect it gets, even though it's not 100% accurate color-wise. So like the original, but it's fun. It's artistic, if you will. Thank you, Sleepy. That's very sweet. Oh, I just knocked the table, which is why the camera is shaking. Sorry. I'm also going to be sniffling now that I sneezed. Let's see. I also have another project that I'm not sure when we're going to be able to do it. But that's just kind of on deck when the other person gets that completed. Which, again, not a big deal on that front. It's just I don't know when I'm going to do it. But I will do it on stream, so. Yeah, I think that guy's done. Also, like, I'm planning on raiding Rainbow, which I'm sure shocks everybody in this chat that I would go to Rainbow's stream. Orange, yeah, we can do that. But I don't know that she really wants these in her Discord. I'll probably spoiler them just in case. Rainbow has already seen this one, because the reason I picked this one specifically out of all of the options is because it's very similar to Rainbow's body shape. I wanted to get a bit of a variation. Okay, we have like kind of pumpkin-y orange, or we have like a neon orange. Which would you prefer? these from? Where did you come from? Nobody knows. Just found some random stencils over here. And I don't know where they came from. As you might suspect from me saying I don't know where those came from.
You know the greatest part of life is to be seen by your ultraviolet eye. To be seen, I built a house in blue.
I'm gonna guess neon if Sleepy doesn't say. Because I do know that Sleepy is at work, so I might get randomly pulled away and not be able to answer a question. Or Sleepy might just not realize I asked a question. Either of these things are entirely plausible. I would like to stop being sniffly now. Yeah, I figured. Do you want the neon orange or the more like pumpkin-y orange? I was gonna pick neon for you if you didn't say. So I feel like you would like a loud color, honestly. You would feel kinship with a loud color. Yep. Sometimes I know my friends. Yeah, and I said I know Sleepy's at work, so I'm betting that they got pulled away from a customer or didn't realize that I asked them a question. So, you know. Greg is leaving and just texted me. Like, I'm leaving my heated blanket on a 4-hour timer for the fuzzy jerk. Mine has an automatic 2-hour timer, but his has like a option one. Which, like, fair. You had some things to get off your chest there, I think. Once you got your own space. Alright. A little orange star for Sleepy. Here you guys can see our bucket. Which is still not full, but when it's full, since it's taken so long, I'm definitely doing a commission giveaway for this. Once we fill this, because I started this when I first started streaming. So that's like 2 years, and we haven't filled it yet. To be fair, it's also not visible on like the streams and stuff like that, so I don't sell it as often as I could. Yeah, you've been growing a lot, Sleepy, and I've told you that multiple times. But you have been working at growing, and I'm impressed. Yeah, I don't think they'd be good for you, Shawnee. Especially since, like, all of the pre-cut star papers you can buy are from China, where the requirements for the paper are significantly different via chemicals that could go into your body. So I think that perhaps that is not a wise decision. All right, then I think you should go take a nap, Peach. You definitely do not sleep enough, and I know this about you. So I'm throwing my I'm throwing me on top of that list. Go take a nap, Peach. Yeah, the council has decided your fate, and the fate is EP time. Okay. Me just vaguely putting stuff away, and by putting stuff away I mean just moving it all into one stack. Yeah, that's what the meds will do for you, Sleepy, because you have brain no member disease. Welcome home, Tens. Glad you made it safe. Okay. I was going to do more test prints tomorrow, but I think perhaps the better call is to work on my Patreon tier things. It doesn't take a lot of work to do the prints. Maybe I will do both. Because there were a couple that I wanted to test print out so that I can take product photos and then start listing them. There's always so much to do all the time forever. Honestly, like what the frick frack? I'm still working on that. Still working on those. Haven't done that yet, so I don't get to check it off. The craft sticker sheet, I kind of decided what I was doing, but we're working on other stuff. We finished a Venus, so I can check that off. That's so funny, Shawnee. Yes. Oh yeah, that one person. Yes, I know the ones you're talking about. Those are funny. Should write this page. My list there. Don't mind me just staring at my little listy here. Do I have any other thoughts in my head? Apparently not. I do have a couple other sticker designs that have been kind of pinging around my head a little bit. I have a folder on my Procreate that's just like ideas. And honestly, the sketches make no sense. I will show you one. Because like the idea sketch is not even remotely like functional. Like, I know what this means. Do you know what that means? I doubt it. Same with, let's see this one. I know what this looks like in my head. I just like my vague sketches make no sense. This one too. This one I've had in here since like Cap and I started dating, based off of something I said. And like you can kind of get it if you can read my handwriting, but I would be impressed if anybody can read what that says, like the last word, because it doesn't make sense. I know what it says. It's one of those things where like the difference between my concept sketch and the actual piece of art, they like aren't even really related anymore. I still have the... No, I don't. Yeah. Growing together is correct. Like beanstalks is the final bit to that. Yeah. My messy handwriting does make people do that. Because like my regular handwriting is nice, but if I'm like jotting down an idea because I was falling asleep and then popped up and wrote it down before I forgot, all bets are off. And sometimes I can read it the next day and sometimes I can't. Yeah, that one's been on like the back pile for a while. Actually, there's one that has been in the backlog, the queue, whatever you want to call it. Back in the stew pot, perhaps. That's more like what my brain is. This one I started in like 2019, maybe. Based off of something one of my friends said. I think we will get to this one at some point. There is a specific color card in the color in focus that I will use for this. But the idea is that I do this with a bunch of different kinds of caffeine. in the middle, which is why there are a bunch of different colors up there. But T was the one that we were actually talking about. Yeah, it seems on brand for a lot of us. But there is a specific color that I'm waiting for to come out to do this one. But I was going to do it digitally because it would be easier to place different caffeine bits in there. But I think at this point I could just do like multiple pieces because I sell original art now. So that would be wise on the money front. Because I know there's somebody out there who wants this with like a classic monster can in the middle. There's somebody out there that wants to pay me $150 for it. I know in my soul. But yeah, that's the concept that's been sitting in the background for ages. We'll get to it at some point, you know? That's one of the things with like ADHD brain is that you'll have an idea and you'll think about it hard enough that you get the dopamine and then you don't actually do the project. And then you move on to another idea that has the dopamine until you suck it all out. I was tea leaf, like tea plant flowers. That's the little flowers that I was doing there. But yeah. Cooking in the background, always cooking. I did delete a lot of half-finished art when I was organizing my Procreate, which was like a big step for me. That was like brain work. Because I was like, you are literally never going to finish this project, and every time you look at it, it makes you sad. Delete it. Let it go. So I did. And it's gone forever. Yeah. Yeah, I had like a half sketch from like 2018. And every time I looked at it, it reminded me of somebody who like hasn't even had the decency to fully ghost me. It's a complicated situation. But every time I saw it, it just like made me sad. So I was like, I'm never going to finish this in the first place. And also like, it makes me sad. I'm just going to delete it. And there were a fair number of things from that, like Era and from some other friendships that have fallen apart. I did not, Red Bean. I just grumbled to myself under my breath mostly. All right, I think that I have hit my chatter limit at the moment. So I think that we are going to call it and go bother Rainbow. I have had yerba mate, and I do not like it. Oh, that tea company I've told you about, Sleepy, sells it. I personally think that it smells kind of like cat piss. And to be fair, I have not had it brewed the traditional way. So it might be that that's like super different. But to me, it smells like cat pee. It also has a caffeine level that makes me shoot through the roof. I will point out that Spotify did not quit today. So it isn't like a set amount of time. And I don't understand what's happening there. I don't remember off the top of my head like what the comparison is, but like it has more caffeine than like black tea. And it has more caffeine than like a general soda and stuff like that. And I have a bad caffeine tolerance. Like I can have a small Red Bull if I sip it across like 4 hours, and then I won't die. Okay, do this. Mute that tab. Ba. Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure that like the traditional, like proper way of brewing it makes it significantly different. But I followed the instructions on the box from my tea people, and I didn't like it. Thank you, Shawnee. Shawnee has put the raid commands in chat. The first one has emoji you can use anywhere, no matter your subscription status. The second one has an emote you can use if you are subscribed to my channel. So please copy and paste the one that is relevant to you. I'm also going to do before I forgot. And I'm also going to type this before I forgot that too. Okay. And I can close this before we go. Also, I love our little snobs. I wish the person who made those would make more. I wonder if I could like contact them and ask them if they would make more. That would be pretty cool. Okay, I did already meet that tab. I can do this even though it's not going to load properly for me. Double pan. That's valid, Sleepy, honestly. I do tend to judge pride flags the same way that I judge Pokemon shinies. And I'm like, if it's an unusual color, I'm way more likely to like it. So like the genderqueer flag, beautiful, brilliant, love it. Those saturations of colors are so weird for a pride flag. I love you. My brain just completely shut down there. Could you tell? Could you see the loading? What are those called? The little loading circle over my head? Because I felt it. I was actually thinking that would be a funny redeem to do, like kind of like how Rainbow has the brain offline. If I just had one kind of like that with like a loading bar that goes over my head. Ooh, yeah, that's great, Illuminati. I love that. Do you guys want to give me a throbber? Does that sound exciting for you? And this is where Cap wishes he was in stream right now. Which actually, I need to nag him about doing our collab because I mentioned it a while ago and then we couldn't do it, and so it just kind of fell to the background. To be fair, people also eat things based off of color, which is why things like the Tide gel packs look like you want to eat them. Because like we are programmed via monkey brain to like bright colors that look like fruit. And also that's part of why people want to eat like D&D dice. The forbidden snack, you know? All right, so we are going to go raid Rainbow. I think everybody here knows Rainbow. If you don't, Rainbow is a delightful artist and general cutie pie, and we love her. And I know that she often goes back to see what people said about her before they raid. So hi, Rainbow, I love you. Yeah, you guys have a great day too. And I will be back on Friday morning, and we'll do some more big titty Paleolithic baddies. I might also have some jelly beans ready to go that we can work on. Oh, so true, Sleepy. 100%. Okay, take care of yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. Remember that you're loved because I love you. And if you can't take care of or be kind to yourself for yourself, please do so for me because I think you're awesome and deserve nice things, including from yourself, even on the days when it's really hard. So let's work on being nicer to ourselves and each other, and then we can meet back here for a top up or talk about our victories or, complain about various political things that are happening. Whatever. I'll see y'all next time. Okay, bye.